It was all part of Carol Baskin's plan with Peter, the Carol Baskin. Carol Baskin is so influential that Carol Baskin and Carol Baskin, I consider that bitch to be one of the biggest terrorists in the exotic animal world right now. Carol Baskin. Yep, that lady that profits over $1.5 million sucking on your heartstrings about shit on the internet that ain't even true. Carol's bitching that she has this black cloud over her head of people thinking that she's dragging us all out of bed this morning and sticking my mom at the very top of that building right there.
I think JC's fear of failure is the reason we don't have a sync reunion, essentially.
He's paralyzed by it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, it happened. Cool.
I know. I do think there's an air of, like, forced, like, I don't care about anything. Yeah. I'm like, well, you clearly do, though.
Yeah, the thing is, he internalizes everything so much, so I feel like it's closer, but he still doesn't, like, leave the house that frequently.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're hanging out all the time.
I also doubt still that he's like some kind of open book, you know, like I still feel like he's probably still kind of hard to get to know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He's just a closed off dude in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, that happens, but, like, go to therapy.
Yeah, we actually had a listener in our DMs point out that that's actually pretty common, the, like, fear of rejection with people that are adopted and, like, not even just, like, adopted, like, when they're tiny babies, but at least 5. So that like, leaves a lasting impression. So I thought that was actually gave me a really good perspective that I hadn't really thought of. Like, obviously, we know JC's adopted, but I just don't think, it's not, like, front of mind for me. Like,
yeah, he writes for other artists,
exactly.
But you're going to get your stuff out there and make the biggest impact if you're doing it with NSYNC.
Exactly. That's what I kept feeling like. I'm like, so your way of trying to write a song that's going to connect with people, like, on some bigger level than NSYNC already has,
right,
is to work with, like, no-name artists who no one's heard of, like, you know, it just, not to insult those artists, but, like,
no,
a much better way to be able to get your songs out there and be able to have them to connect with a bunch of people would be doing it with your band NSYNC.
Specifically says, is the NSYNC door closed? And this is when there was, like, and I think maybe one of our voice memos, I don't know if we're playing it, but one of them says there's just, like, so much dead space when he was trying to answer that question that it was like, I'm just like, why does he struggle with this so much?
I didn't really get to know JC that well.
Yeah, it was here.
Dude, that was fucking, my heart shattered into a million pieces.
Too.
And no wonder then JC said that his regret was being so shy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he just was totally, like, laser focused, didn't have time for anything except his, like, you know, making everything perfect. And just, like, everyone suffered for it. Him, everyone.
Yeah, and it's like, well, maybe if you could have, like, leaned on the other guys in the group a little bit more, you know, maybe.
Yeah, he's such a perfectionist. Then Lance asks, like, well, did you not feel support from the label? And he's just like, no, I didn't feel like, like, every album has its place and blah, blah, blah. Like, I just felt like it was kind of bullshit, personally.
No, I did too. Well, and it was frustrating for me because it was like, JC, you already said how you felt, like, heartbreak and things that we know fucked him up. Like, Schizo was hard enough because he wasn't supported. Fucking Chris drags JC into it and he goes, after JC's interview, what would your answer be? And I was like, oh shit.
Dude, that was so satisfying. Like, first of all, just confirming what we've been saying, that JC's the holdout, which we knew anyway. But, like, also, like, confirming everything we thought about JC's interview.
Yes.
Where it's like, everything he says sounds like he wants to do it.
It actually, which is why he needs to go to therapy. Okay, anyway, let's get into, you can always strive to be better, but it seems like it's something that keeps him up at night.
Yeah, it's like a fixation.
Yeah, when Lance said, if you join Take That.
I know. I'm like, you sound much more interested in doing the exact same thing with Take That than you do with your own band. Like, it's such a bizarre thing to me. He's like so clearly into the whole idea of everything about a reunion except actually doing it.
I know. He doesn't want his face to be the face
on anything.
But yeah. JC really never talks about his childhood. So to your point, it's like, yeah, we know that, but it's not front of mind. So that's very interesting. I never would have considered that, but it makes so much sense.
Yeah, I can't remember who. I'm sorry that I didn't give you credit, but you were in our Instagram DMs and you mentioned it. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
a really good point.
We've been getting nonstop DMs because everyone's been screaming all day. So
at one point, I looked and we had like 15 unread DMs, and we were reading them pretty quickly. It wasn't like we hadn't read them all day. But she said actually she's adopting, and so she's been doing all this research into it. And I was like, oh, that's fascinating, and something I didn't consider. But like, still though, go to therapy. It still applies.
Go.
He just doesn't have his brain open to it. I feel like he just is so set in the mindset of like, no, that
he doesn't have his heart open.
Realize that, right?
And JC's like, well, no, and the heartbreaking thing of all of it is that's my dream. And I'm like, Joshua, go to therapy.
I know,
Jesus
right?
Christ. And this isn't going to work for whatever reason. And I hope that's not true. And if it is true, I hope they go to therapy for it. But
sorry, I feel like I'm not trying to shit on JC. I just like want him to like listen to himself talk.
I know. He needs to. He never will, but he needs to. I mean, like, he could probably convince himself of a reunion. So yeah. Well, I mean, JC elicits very many feelings. So
there was a lot of feelings to be had.
Maybe if he gave straight answers, we wouldn't have talked so fucking much.
So true, right? This is his fault, really, that you have to listen to an hour and 10 minutes of us react to an hour and 30-minute podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing really makes me
I don't
ill.
dwell in the negative.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not messing with you. If you got bad things to say, go say them over there.
Look, we were pretty much an open book, so.
Bye.
Yeah, take that.